Breaking new developments. Those 5 officers are back on the job. 3 are patrolling Edinburgh streets. You also need to be mindful of the temperature inside of your vehicle, especially if you don't have air conditioning. Take a look. The inside of my SUV reads 108 degrees. That's because it's parked in the shade and it is the evening. So experts recommend you use one of these sunshades. There is a lot of activity here at Enceladus. I'm going to try my best to show you all. DPS, Texas game wardens, and several Border Patrol agents are back out here on the river. They're about to begin a search mission. Slow and steady seems to be the theme out here in Edinburgh. We are with one Valley woman who is finally getting relief. We're in a neighborhood in Ground Zero, just a few blocks from Plaza Towers Elementary. That school, unfortunately, so notorious now with Monday's twister. And you can see business is bustling out here. Homeowners, property owners, and volunteers are out in full force taking advantage of the daylight hours. They've got their gloves on, the sweat is beating down their face, but they're hoping to make a dent in this rolling valley of debris. The terrain is so rugged. They've received more than 70 calls for service. It was not activated and it did not go off. Accurate to call it a paper trail of mistakes?
It very well could be.
We investigated and found deputies haven't released details of 7 more crimes. Do you know what they're drilling? Dozens of shots, as you heard, were fired. Did you have a say in how they repaired it all?
What do you mean?
You know, like how they were going to go about putting in the plates and different things. Asked for George Clooney's eyebrow.
Yeah, I told him I wanted it to look like Brad Pitt.
And what they say?
This is what I look like now.
We're told by the ranch foreman on the ground that a small fire ignited. Back out live to La Jolla, where the investigation into a deadly shooting now underway. One more? More scratches as we hustled to keep up. Today is like 90 degrees plus the humidity. Somos con las noticias. Authorities managed to track down the wanted fugitives one by one. ¿Tienes miedo?
Vamos luchando por la vida.
That's it?
Well, you also have another line.
Oh, well, I didn't want to leave you out there at the last.
Well, I'll get the last line. You say that line.
Be safe. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for joining us. And then today's meeting, a reminder that the crisis on the border is still far from over. We are live in McAllen. Melissa Correa, Channel 5 News at 6. What happened Thursday was such a surprise, Jim Pittman had to snap a shot.
Of several illegals over here somewhere.
The neighborless man lives in North McAllen. He snapped a lot of photos?
Oh, yes, and lots of my finger and my thumb.
His chuckles got lost in the chaos Thursday, when by air and on the ground, illegal immigrants took he and Border Patrol agents by surprise.
Like 317, like 659.
They are good.
We didn't know it as authorities hustled, but within that brush were beaten paths that led to an intricate village of huts and tents. Those tents were able to be picked up and dragged away, though it's going to take a little more work to get rid of these hooches or man-made huts. Authorities are now in the process of contacting the landowner to see if there's anything he can do.
Most of the time in these cases, they've all been surprised.
Agent Daniel Tirado says the huts are flagged by the feds as a new tactic used by smugglers.
It seems like they're primitive yet sophisticated, that it's something that is not going to be built on 1 or 2 hours. It's going to take at least a day for them to construct these huts.
Foul odors weaved through the tree line. Things left behind worked like a time lapse.
No, gracias a Dios bien, porque quiera que los atiendan bien, porque viera, hemos sufrido demasiado ya 15 días.
Walter from Honduras was caught and pulled from the brush after 2 weeks huddled in one of these.
Former line right here.
He was added to a group who surprised folks and agents about who could be hidden in the brush.
Lived here all my life, man.
57 years here.
This is El Zacatal, Texas.
Known on a map as
Santa Maria, Texas.
Smokin' Joe, as he's known, lives among
Paradise. I love it.
He speaks
No neighbors.
in single-second bursts. And if you think you've got the scoop,
Not at all.
Joe's got you beat.
It happens all the time.
He knew about the 1,100 pounds of pot, the more than 8 bundles scattered around Santa Maria Friday night. The 4 drug mules who couldn't outrun a chopper. Santa Maria, Texas,
All brush from here to the river.
is known just as much for its border
Okay, sir.
as it is Joe's
This puppy
barbecue.
got 8 racks in there.
The bad guys in the brush impacted his military highway business.
Got to keep going.
The good guys
A lot of Border Patrol DPS come here.
seem to be driving things back up. Smokin' Joe is one of 700 people who call Santa Maria home. The small Cameron County town is separated by the border only through this levee. You see, the Rio Grande is a mile from here, at most. And from the river's edge, we see Mexico is closer here than other parts of the valley.
Well, why should I move? This is my,
Tonight,
it's mine.
even if the biggest bust
I've earned it. I worked for it.
happened in his small town,
I'm staying here.
Melissa Correa, Channel 5 News at 6, Santa Maria.